Okay, how many of you have some time or the other faced some kind of a health challenge? Okay. And how many of you would like to have some awesome health going forward? All of us, right? So we've got a fantastic line of speakers today, and I welcome you all. My name is Anurag. I welcome you all to the anniversary edition of the LinkedIn Local Thane. So first, a big round of applause for the host. That we have completed 1 year of building this community. It has been a fantastic journey. Now, very recently, I had a little issue in terms, health issue when I was diagnosed with a stone in the kidney, and when the stone came down to the uni tract, and it has an excruciating pain. It was, anybody suffered that? Anybody? It's almost would be as bad as what women go through during the delivery. So one thing I realized that the human body is on a very, very delicate equilibrium, and something goes wrong, it shakes you up, it shakes you up from physically, also mentally, and it really takes a big toll. So taking that into consideration, there was the topic for today is has been chosen very clearly and carefully, and we've got a lineup of speakers who's going to talk about various aspects of the health and wellness. Wellness is just not the physical wellness; it is also got with the mind and the spirit as well. So we've got Mr. Raj Vadgama, who's an extreme sport enthusiast, who's going to be talking about the perseverance bit of it. Then we've got Dr. Sudarshan Singh, who's a physiotherapist, and he's going to be talking about the physical aspects of the health of the health. Then we've got Dr. Karya, Dr. Sagar Karya. He's a psychiatrist, and he will be talking about the psychological aspects of the wellness part. And finally, we've got Mr. Atul Shah, who's just come out of a very, very challenging situation, and he's not only emerged, got himself out of that. He's taking it and trying to help others also. Get the best out of the physical aspects. Now, also we've got a special session that will be taken care by Mr. Dev Gadvi, and he'll be speaking about that in a bit. One thing that I can assure that there is huge amount of inputs to be taken today. So, ladies and gentlemen, just stay focused. There's lots to be collected. And one thing that is common to all the speakers over here is that they are looking out for sharing their knowledge and they're sharing their understanding with a large set of people. They want to give it back to the community. So there's lots to be taken in this whole session. And at the end of the session, there will be some goodies and some offers. Who likes goodies and offers? Who likes goodies and offers? Okay, so we have some goodies and offers also as part of the session. So stay there, ladies and gentlemen, and with that, I would like to invite the host of LinkedIn Local Thane, Shweta, to just give a little word.
Hello all. I think I've got 2 sons, and I think that un dono ke first birthdays were much easier for me than this. I'm so glad that we are completing 1 year. We started on 24th of November 2018 from Bihang Sen, and now we are here, 12th edition, and we are a community of more than 350 people now, and planning to go ahead big time. Couple of things that So a lot of questions for newcomers. People have asked me, what is this all about? What is LinkedIn Local? What's in it for them? So to answer all these questions here is, see, it's an open playground if I have to put it in my words. So irrespective of which profession you belong, if you are an online LinkedIn user as a professional, you're more than welcome here. So an amalgamation of or an intermingling of communities can happen here. And the beauty of this platform is completely no membership, no commitment model. So you register for the meetup, you come for the meetup. The more number of meetups you attend, the more deeper connects you make, which is where you kind of benefit out of this. So I have a lot of participants coming here who've been part of BNI, part of Rotary, part of any such community initiatives. But having said that, either you are encapsulated in your own club or group, if I may say so, but here if you come, you get the opportunity to meet, if you're from BNI, you meet a Rotarian, or if you're from Rotary, you meet a banker, or anything. Now the question here is, मैं उनसे मिलके क्या करूँगा? So the whole purpose of LinkedIn was making meaningful connections beyond your business title, beyond your profession. कई बार क्या होता है कि हम इतने ज़्यादा ओवर सेल करने या कनेक्ट करने में जुड़ जाते हैं कि वी फॉरगेट दैट if we have a more meaningful network, it's going to benefit in the long run. Apart from that, people who are not looking out for generating leads, if you're a vice president in some organization, or maybe you're actually not there in the sales domain, why would you want to come to a networking event in the first place? But there is a need for you to meet like-minded people and socialize, which is where this platform gives you that opportunity. As I said rightly, communities is what we try to bring in on this platform. I have tried to attempt this in this edition as well. So the speakers who are coming on board have a huge community with them. So we have got Mr. Atul Shah with us. He's got a huge community, Ojas Parivar. He normally, when he is speaking on platforms like these, he has around 1,000+ audience. So he's been kind enough to address a smaller audience today. We have got Mr. Raj Vadgama. He's a famous athlete, and he's got a huge fan following. We have 2 more speakers coming up. They're on the way because they have their coming sessions aligned today. So my idea was that, a Ojas Parivar member will get to meet a JNM member, and a JNM member will get to meet. So this is the beauty of this platform. Dave, I think I am not in a position to introduce you. You'll be better to introduce yourself. Dave has been kind enough to come over to this platform, although the session was regarding wellness, but I wanted him to be here to talk about how he could leverage online LinkedIn platform to make him what he is today. Can we have a huge round of applause for Dave Gadvi?
It's kind of awkward, right? Once you have the applause gone, then you enter in the stage and everything is dead. So, better? All right, good, good. First of all, give yourself a round of applause for coming here. (2016) May. I was on the phone in a multinational company. I was in the cabin, walking in the small cabin just like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I was explaining something really, really interesting, most important thing to one of the most important person in my life. You must be wondering, it's a conference room, I'm on the phone, little nervous, has to be a big decision day. It was not my boss on the phone. It was the boss of my life on the phone. I'm sure you might have guessed who. My better half. When I was speaking on the phone, I said, my dear, give me 12 months and I will do something which will not only give us money, also will give us the time freedom, and we will be able to do what we really wanted to do. There was a silence. Before I tell you what happened after that, let's go a little bit flashback. how did I even reach to that place? It was 16 years that I worked in a corporate job. Same routine, morning wake up, get ready, go to the office, fighting the traffic, listen to the boss, take the orders, come back home, spend time with the family, and that's how my day would end. I went on living like this for 16 long years, not knowing what to do in life. And fast forward today, here I am, having some idea about my life, what I should be doing to change the way I have been living. After the conversation, I was able to secure 12 months period for me to prove myself, prove my worth, and build the life of my dreams. Fast forward, after that conversation, my wife, she agreed and she gave me 12 months. However, it took 24 months. Okay. After 24 months, here I am. I've built my business around passion. I've said goodbye to 9-to-5 life. And today, I made 1 crore in last 2 years in my mentoring business. Is that good? Now, while I stand here and I share the number, some of you thinking, Dave is money-minded person. He's talking about money right at the beginning of the day. Let me tell you, I never followed money. I never started my journey by thinking that I want to make 1 crore and I want to be my own boss. I wanted to be a boss. I wanted to live a 6 Sundays a week life. But money was the byproduct. Today, I'm going to share few tips on how a day version 9-to-5 versus day version 6 Sundays a week life has happened in last 2 years. I'll try to summarize short and give you 3 important tips which helped me to build my brand on LinkedIn and reach the place where I am today. But I've written a book called 80% Mindset, 20% Skills, which has become the Amazon best-selling book and also reviewed by international multi-millionaire Dan Lok. I don't know, anybody familiar with Dan Lok? Few of you? Okay. So he's my mentor. And I've also given the TEDx speech, Josh talk. Everything has happened in the last 20 to 24 months. Would you like if I share those 3 tips? Would it help you if I share those 3 tips? How many are ready to listen to that? Give yourself a round of applause then. Here's my routine, how it started after I had this conversation with my wife. I will wake up, here I am, brushing my teeth, and I start my day, little nervous, put the video, the camera, next to the window, and start sharing the knowledge and wisdom that I accumulated from my experience and from the learning that I had from people like Grant Cardone, Dan Lok, and all the other people. I record the video, very shabby, no editing, just finish the video, go to the office, do the work, come back home, edit the video, upload the video, sleep. Day 2, brush my teeth, make the crappy video, go to the office, come back home, edit, and upload. Day 3, same routine. Fast forward few months, there was one man who gave me a call, and he said, "Hello, is it Dave?" I said, "Yes, this is Dave Gadvi." "Dave, I've been following you for last few months. This is Pradeep, I'm calling from Nigeria." I said, "Yes, Pradeep ji. Let me tell you, you have really made a difference in my life." I said, "I'm really glad that I've been able to do so." After that, he said something which literally changed my life. Until then, I was still trying to figure things out, what to do on social media, what kind of videos to make, who do I need to help. He asked me a question. He said, Dave, do you do paid coaching? I was like, wow. I was on the journey to just share my thoughts and ideas on how I can add value to people, and there's somebody asking me if I do paid coaching. But have you had the moment where you cannot take long time, right? If you take a long time, that means you don't know what you're doing. I said, yes, I do. Then he asked me a second question, which literally had the moment. How many of you seen the ad, Beta man mein laddu phuta? I had that moment second time in the same call. He said, so Dave, how much do you charge? Me being the naive person, not knowing anything about coaching and training industry, how much somebody charges, I'm like, have you had the moments where your brain works like a supercomputer? Does like hundreds and thousands of calculations split seconds. They're like, how much, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. But again, you cannot take long time. I was like, well, typically I charge 5,000 rupees, but if you're doing it next week, I will charge 3,500. And then he said one word, such a beautiful, magical word. I cannot forget this. He said, okay. And boom, that was my first deal. At that time, I was making 3.5 lakh from my job for a month, which was a very good pay, I think, as per what my friends were telling me. And I made 3,500. It was so precious to me. It's even bigger than 3.5 lakh. Fast forward, I continued on that journey. Every day, same routine. But my videos started becoming little better. Little better. Little better. And fast forward few months, I started writing my book and I started sharing my knowledge on social media openly and freely. 18 months fast forward, I quit my job and I launched my mentorship program. It was called Passionpreneur Mastermind. Now, what is Passionpreneur? It's the term which I coined, knowing that somebody can build their business around passion and live amazing life where there is money and their passion. Who would love that kind of life? I'm sure everybody, right? Everybody. So that's the term which I launched, and fast forward 2 months. What was taking me 30 days to make 3.5 lakh, I made 35 lakhs in 2 months. Good? How did it all happen? These are the 3 things which I did, and I think if anybody follows this, not only you'll have money, but you'll have success coming at your doorstep, and you cannot stop success from coming to you. They say that chase success, follow success, chase money, follow money, find new idea, create new business. But they forget that success is not to be chased. Success comes to people who become worthy of success. People, you become capable of success so that success runs after you. How many of you have seen the movie 3 Idiots? Everybody? Some people are busy in the phones, I think. All right? In that, Amir Khan said, right? पैसों के पीछे मत भागो. What did he say then? काबिल बनो ताकि सक्सेस झक मार के तुम्हारे पीछे आए. This was the funda which I understood. And there are 3 things which I realized which were substantial to help me build my brand and build my business. Where I went from few thousands of followers on social media, which especially on LinkedIn, to today having 37,000 followers on LinkedIn and more than 100,000 followers on overall social media by these 3 principles. And a lot of people come and tell you that, you know what, LinkedIn algorithm is like this, make the post like this, make the video like this. It's all great. But those are tactical things. And if you start running after tactical things, guess what? Tactics will change and you will struggle in your business. But if you understand the fundamentals, the principles of what I'm going to share with you, it's going to change not only your LinkedIn, but also going to change the way you do business. How many of you are already in business? Either you're independent business owner or something, right? Okay, good. Give them a round of applause. It takes a lot of guts to start on your own. I know how dark nights you have to see, right? To begin with. Right? I know, I've been there. Like we don't have a lot of time. I wish I can share my dark side of life. That when I started my business, when I had a lot of people like this, nobody signed up, and I spent lakhs of rupees there in those workshops. I have been there just last year. So I know how it feels. So what are the 3 principles? Number 1, find your why. This is most crucial. People look at somebody and say, you know what, I like what he or she is doing. Let me try to copy and try to do this. Not knowing that they have a separate why. Their mission is different, their passion is different, their vision is different. They have a different journey altogether. Don't try and copy their why. Don't try to make China make products. It won't last. Try and find your own original products. So understand who you truly are. Before you want to conquer the external world, try and conquer which world? Which world? Inner world. Because the external world is a reflection of the inner world. So if your why is absolutely clear, the people who align with your values, your mission and vision, guess what's going to happen? They will find you. You don't have to go and find them. In last 2.5 years, I never made one single cold call or asking people, please buy from me, please invest in me. When I started in Passionpreneur, the minimum fees for a mentorship was 1 lakh rupees. Whereas in that time, people were charging 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 for training and coaching. I said, no, I'm going to be different. But guess what? I was able to attract those people. The campaign that I ran, Passionpreneur Mastermind, I did 6 workshops in 6 different cities. So I can shortlist my mentees there. And that's how I was able to shortlist 30 plus mentees, each one paying me 1 lakh plus. And I chose my mentees. They did not choose me. That's the power of attracting people. And the best part, how many of you have seen so many ads showing up on Facebook and social media these days? Right? Every 4th or 5th post, it'll be a, hey, here's a coach, here's a trainer, be a speaker. At that time, I didn't have a lot of money to run ads, and I didn't even know how to run ads. But because my hard work, my why was so clear on LinkedIn and social media, I was sharing all the knowledge and wisdom. I attracted people, and I paid 0 money for ads, and I made 30 plus lakhs on the first campaign. And over a period of time, I was able to expose myself to people like Ron Malhotra. How many of you know Ron Malhotra? Yeah? Have you had chance to be at the last LinkedIn local when he was there physically? Yeah? I attracted people like Ron Malhotra. Through what? Through my, first is what step? Find your, let's do it together. Find your why. First, find your why. Find your why. Second, serve to be served. If you want to be served, just serve. Now, these are the things that you will not hear very often people talking about. Only few people talk about. What do I mean by serving people? जाके सबके पैर दबाने लग जाऊं? सर दबाऊं? नहीं. Serve as in, once you have your why clear, once you understand what you're doing, just give your knowledge, wisdom, everything absolutely for free and serve them till the point ताकि universe आके पूछे कि बता तेरी रजा क्या है, क्या मर्जी है. Till the point you reach, you have to give, serve, serve, serve. That's number 2. That's all I did. For almost 1.5 years, I served until somebody like Pradeep ji called and asked me, बताओ कितना लोगे पैसा? That's number 2. The third and the most important element is raise consciousness of the people around you. How do you raise consciousness of people around you? Is by number 1, by you having higher level of consciousness. What do I mean by consciousness? We all have our own beliefs and knowledge, and we have our own filter. We see the world based on that filter. That's our consciousness. But there are things which are beyond our own acceptance, but yet they are the universal fact. If I ask here a question, which was debatable probably, do you believe live-in relationship is good? How many of you raise your hand if you believe it is good? The rest believe they don't believe that it's good. Everybody's got their own perspective, the consciousness. Okay? Not necessarily your truth is universal truth. So if you challenge people's belief enough, they will start looking up to you as a leader. You don't need tactics. For example, I challenge the belief system of why living one Sunday in a week? Why not have 6 Sundays a week? Why you take 5 years, 10 years to make 1 crore? How is it possible? A lot of people are thinking, well, there's a next book which is coming up, my second book, 6 Sundays a week. I challenge the belief system that why you have to just follow 9 to 5 life to live a great life. Why can't you build your own business around passion? So these are the consciousness that I raise through posts and videos. Yes, these posts and videos are the mediums, how you raise the consciousness, and which is the better platform right now than LinkedIn. How many of you agree? LinkedIn is the best platform right now. So with that, I would like to have an opportunity to introduce you to one person who has been phenomenal in terms of doing all these 3 things, and I've learned from him and I've learned from so many gurus, and he will be live joining us all the way from Australia. How many of you love that? Yeah? So Ron Malhotra will be joining us live and will be answering your questions. So if you have questions, be ready with it. While we are connecting him, let me give you a brief how I got connected to him and why we are even connected. So by the end of the day today, you can connect with Shweta if you want to learn more about me, Ron, or if you want to continue learning these things eventually so that you can start building your own business around passion or become a coach. Shweta will share more details with you. I'm not here to pitch or share anything, but I'm here to tell you that we do have something really great. Just to give you a background, was I like this from before? No. I was born in a humble family. My dad was a truck driver. We lived in a very small place. It was in the neighborhood which was surrounded by all the drunks, gamblers. They will fight, they abuse. We were not even given the admission in English medium school until my mom made it happen by anyhow. So coming from that poor neighborhood, dad being a truck driver, to reaching here, it took me a long time. And that's why when I connected with Ron Malhotra, we said, you know what, this is beautiful. The way you are growing your tribe and impacting people, I'm also doing the same. Why don't we collaborate and do something? People who are from the middle class families, who are looking for choices to grow in life, we can facilitate them and fast track their success. How many of you love to fast track your success? Yeah? So right now, is Ron live? So with that,
hello, can everybody hear me?
I think you have to be a little loud, Ron. Hey Ron, this is Dave here.
Hi Dave, how are you?
I am really, really good. Say hello to LinkedIn local Thane. Everybody say hello to
Hello
Ron.
LinkedIn local, Thane, how is everybody?
Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Hello Ron. All right, now you see there's a full house, excited people.
I love it.
Good. So Ron, we have some people who have some questions we would like to ask you. For people, let me just introduce who Ron is. Ron is an Australian millionaire entrepreneur, 5-time best-selling author who has started from scratch, and he has built 4 to 5 different businesses. And today, he is one of the top 50 global Indian individuals recognized by international authorities. Top 50 Indian influencer global. You can probably give a round of applause. Yes. His work has been recognized by likes of Jack Canfield. Who knows Jack Canfield? Raise your hand. Yes. Jack Canfield has made a special video testimonial of 3 minutes just for Ron. His book has been also reviewed by likes of Brian Tracy, and it's really an honor that he is here. So anybody who would like to ask him first question?
Anyone has a question, we can ask him right away.
We got only 10 minutes from Ron, okay? You make the most out of him.
So people still have to gather as to what kind of questions can be put up. Ron, can you help the team with that?
Yeah. So why don't I ask the question? Is that okay?
Yeah, repeat that. Yeah.
Okay. So Ron, most of the people, when I connect with, the common question that they have is, how do I build my brand and my influence, especially you leveraging LinkedIn?
Well, I think the first thing is you need to know what your message is. You don't just want to go and start tactically building your brand. You need to know why you want to build your brand. That's the most important thing. A lot of people have heard me talk about the research from the Carnegie Institute of Technology that says that 85% of your career success comes from your personality, your ability to connect, lead, and negotiate. I talk about this because so many people will spend years and decades developing their technical skills and their education, but they spend practically no time developing their personality, their ability to connect, lead, and negotiate. So there are a number of elements of your personal brand. The first element of your personal brand is your personal essence. And what that really means is, who are you as a person? The second is, what's your message? So your personal message. The third is your personal style statement. How do you physically show up to the world? And then you have a number of elements that make up your personal brand. So a personal brand is not just about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is just the vehicle through which you share your personal brand, but your personal brand should be consistent whether you speak on stage, whether you are working with a team, whether you're running companies. The personal brand should be consistent. Now, a lot of people think that they don't need a personal brand. This morning I had a mentee of mine who rang me. His brother is based in Dubai as a vice president for a large organization, and his brother lost his job. They gave him no reason. They just said, no, we don't want you anymore. He lost his job. And so his brother rang me and said, look, my brother's lost his job. He's a vice president. He's panicking. What should I do? What advice should I give him? So I said, give me your brother's name. Let me have a look on LinkedIn. I look up LinkedIn and he has 200 connections. I said, your brother has not been developing his personal brand. He has not been developing his sphere of influence. And today now he finds himself out of a job and he's panicking, but he has no contingency plan. And unfortunately, most people have no plan on what they're going to do when they lose their job or when there's downward pressure on their wages. We're no longer in the information age. We're in the social and digital age. And those people who do not understand the dynamics of social and digital age are going to lose in the next 10 years. You will see that either they will lose their job, or there is going to be downward pressure on their salaries, or there's going to be upward pressure on their performance targets. So today, your personal brand is an important element of your social currency. The banks cannot take it away. Your creditors cannot sue you for it. But if you have a personal brand, it opens up a world of opportunities for you. There was one research that talked about a person who had built his personal brand, and the day he lost his job, within 2 weeks of that, he had 110 offers of collaboration, starting businesses, as well as job opportunities. That's the power of a personal brand.
Wow, that's really good. Powerful. Thanks, Ron. Anybody would like to ask him a question? Ron, yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of speakers, entrepreneurs, and those who've been working, which is why we're here. So how important is now more than ever establishing a digital presence for businesses, for speakers, for entrepreneurs, more than any other time? Why is it important now, and how can we do so?
It's not just speakers and coaches. Everybody needs to build a digital presence, because the digital presence allows them to be able to promote themselves and expand their reach. Look, this is nothing new. Every company in the world, including Coca-Cola, they spend hundreds of millions of dollars promoting and advertising. Why do they do it? Everybody knows who Coca-Cola is. Why do they do it? Because if they don't do it, their sales start to drop. Visibility is so important today for everybody. And now, for the first time in the history of the world, you have an opportunity through which you can connect with people globally. You can set up collaboration. You can attract talent. You can attract publicity. You can attract private equity investors just by sharing your message from your bedroom, from your office, just from your house. You don't even have to leave the house now and go into an office to do this. So why would you not do it? I mean, once upon a time, if you wanted to advertise your message or you wanted to promote your message, product or service, you would either put an ad in the newspaper or you would get a big billboard and you would spend a lot of money on that billboard and you would hope that as the cars are driving past, everyone's going to pay attention to your message. Today, you don't have to spend any money. You can just basically from your computer, you can start sharing messages, something that you care about, a problem that you want to solve, and you can literally get that message in the hands of hundreds, thousands, even millions of people, depending on how consistent you are. I shared with you recently, Dave, that there is about 575 million active users on LinkedIn. Only 0.17% have ever posted any content on LinkedIn. 0.17%. That's it. And I can even tell you, out of those 0.17%, the number of people that would be posting regularly would be a very small number. So the opportunity is huge. And the problem is everybody is doubting themselves. Everybody's wondering that there need to be some sort of a global specialist before they should start putting a message out. It's not, you don't have to be a specialist. You don't become an expert before you post. You become an expert because you post and because you keep adding value and because you provide unique insights. Now, it is important that when you post material, you're not just regurgitating and repeating what other people are saying. You've got to provide some unique insights and perspectives in the marketplace that you want to play in. So regardless of whether you're a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, executive, employee, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a personal brand, if you're not using the digital and social space, you are going to get left out.
Round of applause.
Hello. Thank you so much for all the wonderful insights that you've just given. My question is, like I have started my career one more time. So earlier my credentials were different, my education is different, and now what I'm doing is absolutely different. So do I really need to go back to, like when I'm building my LinkedIn profile, should I just not put in my earlier data, or should I like start from 1993 when I passed out my engineering and things like that? So how relevant is that? Because in my life today, my past is really not relevant anymore. It is more of personal development. So how should I go about building my LinkedIn profile with the contingency plan now?
Great question. Round of
Thank you.
applause. So Ron, the question is, she completed her formal education and now she's doing something different than her formal education. What does she do with the previous record that she has about her qualification and all that? Should she delete all the data from the LinkedIn and start from where she started as a passion or whatever she wants to do? Or should she keep it?
It all depends on what she wants to do. So it will all depend on what you actually want to do going forward. I would not delete the qualifications because having traditional education demonstrates that you have the ability to start something and complete something. It shows your level of professionalism and it shows your level of commitment. So I would not delete it. What I would do is I would try and find a way to connect it with what you're going to do in the future. For example, let's just say somebody has done a degree in engineering, but they decide that they're going to start up a business. All they need to do is they need to find a way that they can talk about how that education and the experience and education that they have got as a consequence of studying engineering, how it has assisted them in being able to develop their business. I don't think traditional education is a waste. I actually believe in it. My only thing is that I say to people, traditional education is inadequate. It is not that it's bad. It's not that it's not necessary. It is necessary, but it is inadequate. I think traditional education only accounts for 25 or 30% of your career success. When you combine traditional education with self-education, business education, and financial education, that's when it becomes a very powerful combination. Now, a lot of people say to me, but are you saying, Ron, everybody needs to run a business? No, I'm not saying that everybody needs to run a business, but I am saying that everybody needs to think like an entrepreneur. Even if you're not going to start your own business, even if you end up working for another business, if you do not think like an entrepreneur, you are not going to have a job. The reason is very simple. Automation, artificial intelligence, and outsourcing are going to transfer a lot of the low value skills, onto technology, and people in developing countries. So even jobs are being outsourced from India to Philippines and to Bangladesh, and that's going to continue to happen. But the people who have the ability to be able to create outcomes, and that's what entrepreneurs do. You see, entrepreneurs do two things very well. Number one, I should say good entrepreneurs. Good entrepreneurs are responsible for two things. Number one, delivering outcomes. Number two, solving problems. So once an employee develops the mindset of an entrepreneur, even if they work for somebody else, they're going to be a far greater asset to the company that they're working with if they've got the entrepreneurial mindset. So entrepreneurship is not necessarily about starting your own business. It's an attitude. It's the way you solve problems. Employees do not look to solve problems. Vast majority of employees have the mindset, I want a job so you can pay me money so I can buy my house, I can buy my car, I can get my work experience. So the employee mindset is all about entitlement. And as the global economy becomes more and more and more competitive, what's going to happen is employers are going to look for the best of the best of the best. I know as an employer today and as an entrepreneur today, I always say to my team, I only want A grade people. I do not want a team of B grade people. And I'm looking for high performance, I'm looking for high commitment, and I'm looking for the ability to deliver results. Majority of employees are not interested in delivering results. They just want to go in and get paid for their time. And that is one of the reasons why all major countries right now are in significant debt, and the level of innovation in most countries is not very high. So entrepreneurship is a mindset, it's an attitude, and I think everybody needs to develop it right now. So I don't think any traditional education skill is wasted, but I will say that if all you have is traditional education today, you are in a whole lot of trouble in the next 10 years. I mean, Dave knows that. I was talking to Dave about this just last week, and I said CNBC did this study, and they found that 4.5 billion people in the world, so that's more than half the world's population, have a net worth of less than 1,000 US dollars. There are only 49 million millionaires in the entire world. That represents less than 0.5% of the entire world population. Now, you might say, I don't want to become a millionaire. Well, what you don't realize now is that the average person today, even in the developing world, their life expectancy is now either 80s or 90s. So if you retire at 60, you have 25 to 30 years without an income. If you don't want to fall back on the government and you don't want to fall back on your family, you need to have a contingency plan. And the best contingency plan is entrepreneurship, but it requires skills and it requires a great attitude. So all I'm saying is that if all you have ever done in your life is spend all of your time and money on in developing your traditional education skills, but you don't have business education or you don't have financial education, you're in a whole lot of trouble. That's an absolute guarantee. You see, there are only two ways to become wealthy. Either you have people and systems working for you, or you have money working for you. If you neither have people and systems working for you, and you don't have money working for you, but you are working for money, you are guaranteed to fail financially. It's a 100% mathematical certainty. So when you understand that, why would you put yourself at so much risk? Well, the only reason people do it is because they think, well, everybody else is doing it, so it must be the right thing. But history has shown us time and time again, what the majority do never works. So we have to start shifting our mindset. We have to understand that it's not the strongest or the fastest of people that survive, it's the ones that are most adaptable. And right now there is a need for people to adapt because we are no longer in the information age. If you were born in the 70s or you were born in the 60s or you were born in the 80s, chances are that you had a dream that you're going to go and get a degree and then you're going to move up the corporate ladder and then you're going to become financially secure. Well, the world has changed. That plan that our parents and grandparents gave us is obsolete. That's the problem. And when they had this plan, they were living out of survival. They just wanted the basics. They just wanted to have a reasonable standard of living. And they were not living into their 90s and 80s. But today we are. So we have to have a better plan and we have to adapt. And that's why Dave and I have been on this mission of educating people and helping them understand that, look, if you don't combine the right education, self-education, business education, and financial education, and have it complement your traditional education, you're in a lot of risk. And so many people say, well, if I have a job, I want a job because I don't want to take a risk. And I say to them, you are taking the biggest risk. You have only one source of income. You have one person that will decide, your employer, they'll decide whether they want to keep you in a job or not. You are at the greatest risk today. So, over a period of time, I have built, over 20 sources of income. So I'm not at risk. If one client leaves, or two clients leave, or three clients leave, or one business goes down, or one product fails, I still continue to feed my family. I still continue to make sure that my retirement is comfortable. So that's what is risk mitigation, you see, but that requires creativity and thinking. And unfortunately, traditional education doesn't teach that.
Great, great, awesome. We would love to go on, but I think it's the end of the time.
So thank you so much, Ron, for joining us. I know a Zoom call that we planned earlier would have done a better impact, but nonetheless, I think your voice and your knowledge is still powerful, so people are all glued on to what you have to say. And I'm glad you're coming to Mumbai, and Dev has already mentioned, and we are going to discuss about what's in store for LinkedIn local Thane community. Thank you so much, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Just last note, can you give a round of applause to some of my mentees who have come, Shubham, Shalini, Vinita, and so on. Thank you, thank you. It was a pleasure to have an opportunity to speak in front of a lovely audience. Thank you, really. We'll meet again someday. Thank you.
Thank you, Dev. Thank you so much. I think that was powerful. With Dev and Ron both put together, it was simply phenomenal. Right or right? We'll give a big round of applause to Dev. Thank you, Dev, so much for being here.
Thank you.
We really love to have you here.
Thank you.